letting them rip, that's so necessary. My aim is crazy, I hope you ready for your death day. Cause I'm ready for mine, so just make sure you never miss me. Cause even if I'm slightly off, I'm hitting your neck.
State of the world, yo. It's a public service announcement. Coming from the Rock. Coming from the A. Coming from Primetime Ye. Let's get it. What's happening? It's Primetime Ye. You know, with Primetime Hustlers, all G. You know, all G go two ways. Rich Over Glory, which is my man's Jay Hollis, and then Rise Out of the Gutter, you know, which is your man's Primetime Ye. You know, we gonna shout out my man Sean Wade, Jay Dow, Everton, Gillespie, you know what I'm saying? Difficult times, little bruh, you know, Gift of Seven. You know, these just, you know, a few people I work with, you know, on the music tip, but then, you know, on taking the music tip to getting back to substance. That's just a little brief, you know, a brief look into what I am. Yep, I'm an artist, I do music, I'm a poet, you know, I'm a journalist, you know what I'm saying? I am the last real preacher. One of them. There's a couple more out there, but, you know, a lot of times you ain't got to, the luxury of being around motherfuckers like us, you know, people that's gonna keep it real with you, you know, concerning life, concerning you, you know what I'm saying, concerning, you know, originality, and getting back to that, you know what I'm saying, but we're gonna take a couple looks into a couple subjects, cause it's a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? You got Obama talk about boys need a goddamn Fruit Loop mentor in their life. Like, that's crazy. You know, you got motherfuckers mad at Trump. Like, Trump been the only president in the world. You know what I'm saying? And then you got you got this Diddy shit, and people ain't even speak out concerning that. You know, they just sit there, you know, and act like, oh, it ain't nothing. Knowing goddamn well, y'all was at these shows. Jay-Z, Beyonce, Rick Ross, T.I. All these shows, Rihanna, Mary J. Blige. Even back in the day, Jodeci, all that shit, motherfucker was on. I was on that shit too. You know, not like you motherfuckers, cause I ain't no fan of nobody. The only motherfucker I'm a fan of is Yahweh, Elohim, Yahshua. That's it. Who created me and myself and my children. You know, I'm a fan of my children. But yeah, let's get into it. We about to break some.
When I fed them people, fish the J didn't even exist. If you're not gaining knowledge to elevate, you're not living. If you don't turn that bitch into deliveries, you're not pimping. These solemn nights, I hear the beats, roll the split, try to listen. Prior to this, the master plan was to be richer. Mr. Jefferson, I'm moving up, put you on a poster with me. Here I am, they keep talking about I am. Out of my mind, delusional, maybe I am. But I really be high like all the time, no, so I see the scam. Well, I never even felt I really was American.
Now, first we gonna start off with Sean and Sean Incorporated. Sean Combs, Sean Carter. Now there's an aspect in this world before we even get to Sean Combs and Sean Carter that they've always kept, you know, this so to speak blueprint when it comes to the industries of this world. You know, it's always two motherfuckers. It's always two motherfuckers that they plug in each industry. You feel me? You see it with the presidency. What is it? It's a president and a vice president. Two motherfuckers. You know, in the music industry, from mid-90s, it was Sean and Sean. And before them, it was Clive and Quincy. And before them, you see where I'm going? It ain't just about Sean and Sean, but we have to stay with Sean and Sean because that's what the people have seen, that's what they're familiar with. If we could get you to see who Sean and Sean are, then we could, you know, then we could tune into the other motherfuckers that they're molded up under. Now there's always two aspects that they playing with these two people. You see it in the Matrix. It's called the red and the blue pill. Red, Republican, blue, Democrat. You see it on the police sirens too. Red and blue, red and blue. You see it with the Crips and the Bloods. Red and blue, red and blue. It's a government program. Red and blue, red and blue. You know, so it's a concept. It's an agenda. It's I can't think of the term. But they always got two motherfuckers. Right? Always. So that's one thing you gotta understand is how they operate. Alright, so Sean and Sean. You wonder why these motherfuckers getting thrown under the bus, getting swept under the rug. You know what I'm saying? That's because there's no use for them no more. You know, and then, you know, they in their midlife crisis, so they've been doing a lot of ill shit that these fake Jews don't like. You know, the people that own them, they've been doing a lot of shit. They ain't did the right shit for their community. You know, they ain't take getting fucked by the Jews and take all that money they made and do shit for the community. They ain't make no cities. They ain't create no cities. They ain't try to buy half a state. Think about all the money that done went through, not just all the celebrities' hands, but just these two specific motherfuckers that they chose. And they've done nothing to build, to create anything for the communities that they came from. Now, it's some tricky shit to your boy Diddy, because Diddy is actually Roman bloodline. Jay-Z, I'm pretty sure he's part of a particular bloodline they're familiar with, you know, but he one of the main puppets. You know, Diddy, he a puppet, but he ain't necessarily typical puppet like the rest of these celebrities. You feel me?
They keep talking about I am out of my mind, delusional, maybe I am. But I really be high like all the time, no, so I see the scare. Hey, I never even felt I really was American. We got the choppers out, but that's not what we.
You see this shit going on with the Diddy trial. Now, there's two things going on with this trial. They're getting rid of Diddy, or they already got rid of Diddy. But also what they're doing is revealing to you things that, you know, they still want you to latch on to. That's why you see them playing games with this Diddy trial. You know what I'm saying? They proved the RICO. They proved sex trafficking. All the witnesses, they proved that, but they ain't give it to them. You know, why didn't these other witnesses come forward? All the motherfuckers he done sodomized, all the motherfuckers that ran overseas, they ran overseas. Ain't say shit. Justin Bieber, Usher, Mary J, Jodeci, all. And then bigger names than that. I'm just saying what you're familiar with in your community. And it's ETC, etc., etc. The whole industry, music, acting, the whole industry, politics, religion, athletes, were at these parties. The whole industry. Epstein and Diddy were operating at the same time. And then you had Weinstein just in the cut undercover terrorizing motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Bringing them to the couch. And he's sitting on the couch with just a sheet on. Harvey Weinstein. And who you see with Harvey Weinstein? Oprah. You seen Diddy. You also see Trump in the mix. Weinstein, Epstein, and Diddy. You see Trump in the mix of all this as well. Do they got footage of Trump? Like they got footage of others? Who knows? Maybe at the Epstein joint. He did come out and say like him and Diddy used to be cool. You know, back in the day. He did come out and say that, but their relationship ain't necessarily the same now. So he got ties to these motherfuckers. This is why this is deeper than what motherfuckers understand. This is why when certain shit like this go down and it's being exposed that you've been deceived, that you've been mentally manipulated, that you've been played with, that everything that you grew up in this world thinking was true, think it was for real. From the time you going to church 3 to 4 days out the week, the time you sit here watching these presidents arguing with your folk about who you're voting for, from the time you're listening to this music and allowing motherfuckers that you don't know to become part of your lives through sound, not through them being tangible, not through you being able to see them, but through sound. But you got to go pay to see them. You even got to pay to hear the sound. But you'll act like you know these people personally. You know what I'm saying? It's up. It's up. It's time to speak up. It's time to recognize when you were wrong. It's time to recognize that you have been deceived. You know what I'm saying? It's time to break these bondages that they built in our community, these generational bondages not built by us, but built by how we were treated, which created these generational bondages. You know, but the shit come out, people want to ignore that shit. People want to act like they ain't did shit wrong. People want to act like, oh, it ain't a big deal. Like, these niggas were Fruit Loops, pedophiles. You know what I'm saying? Homosexuality is a terrorist group, bro. The LMNOP community is a terrorist group. You pretty much become a terrorist when you a pedophile, when you partake in homosexuality. Because it's a sickness, and things that come from this sickness, you be terrorizing motherfuckers. See, they want to see where people's heads at. They put all that crazy shit, you know, but Diddy, they knew Diddy was doing all this shit. It's Sodom and Gomorrah. They want Sodom and Gomorrah back here. They've been trying to implement Sodom and Gomorrah in this shit for a long time. Going all the way back to Walt Disney World, man.
The difference between being violent and fucking survive. Let's see it, Uncle Sam. Sip to the red like several times. Your sergeant said no sergeant home, and this is not an option. They make us like those on buildings, infrared brick house. Can't turn your back.